some light weights or water bottles, a ball or a rolled up bath towel, as well as a chair for extra support, and of course a mat or some supportive surface to lay down on. So let's go ahead and get started with our warm up, taking our feet about hip distance and parallel, roll those shoulders back and down, nice big rolls. Finding your breath, nice inhale, exhale here. Let's reverse the direction now. One more here. All right, coming back to center now. Taking our hands to our hips, let's bend our knees a little bit. So the knees track forward over the second and third toe. So a small bend in the knees and straighten the legs. Squeeze the glutes. So a little bend and straighten. The next time you bend those knees, stay there. So just keeping a little bend in the knees, lifting your right leg up, letting that hip open up and around. Again, open up and around here. One more. Taking that right leg back to center, keeping that little bend in the knees, same thing, left side, lift that knee up, open up and around. As always, slowing down that movement if you need to, finding your balance. One more here, come back to center. Now let's take our feet a little wider than hip width, so toes are facing forward here. We're gonna start by keeping our hands at our hips, keep those shoulders rolled back and down. Bend your knees, come into a squat position. So we're hinging forward here, nice flat back, keeping that arching, rounding out of the spine, right? Neutral spine as we hinge forward. Now we're gonna straighten our legs, squeeze those glutes. Bend the knees, sit down, straighten. The next time you bend those knees, I want you to stay there. Now, you're gonna turn your feet out. So heels are in, toes are out. Now you're gonna step one leg back behind you. So both sets of toes are kind of facing the front and right and left corner of the room. Then you're gonna bend your knees, finding a curtsy lunge. So you wanna keep your shoulders over your hips here. Straighten those legs, squeeze those inner thighs together. So a little bend and straighten. Last one, come back up. Take those feet out nice and wide still. Bend those knees a little bit. We're gonna step the opposite leg back. Step it back behind you. Square off those hips. Bend and straighten. Again, as you look here, I'm not hinging forward over that front knee. Try to keep the shoulders and hips stacked. Navel pulling in. Last one. Straighten those legs. Take those feet out nice and wide. Now we're gonna step out into a nice wide V position. So heels and toes out. Keeping those hands on the hips. Bend those knees. Press the knees. Make sure they're tracking over the second and third toe. So take a look here. Sitting up nice and tall. And straighten those legs. Squeeze through those heels, engaging those inner thighs and glutes. Bend the knees again. And straighten. The next time you bend those knees, I want you to stay nice and low. Hold here. Now begin to press those knees back towards a baby toe. So little presses back with those knees. Warming up a little bit, maybe through the backside of those glutes. The outer hip. Last one, hold right here. Now sit 1 inch lower. Now maybe lift that left heel up off the ground. Pressing evenly between all 5 toes. Lower that heel down, switch sides. Alternating left and right. One more each side. Both heels down, straighten those legs. Heel toe those feet in. Now toes are facing forward, feet are about hip distance and parallel. Take those arms overhead. We're gonna find our chair behind us. So we're gonna take our seat back behind us, hinging forward from the waist. Nice neutral spine, pulling that belly in. Straighten those legs, press those palms back behind you. Sit down low again and press. Squeeze through those glutes as you come up to standing. Last one, let's hold that chair, so stay where you are. Sit down 1 more inch. Taking your gaze a few feet in front of you so your neck is long here. Hold right here. Now, you're gonna rock forward slightly into the toes now, more than into the heels. Lift one heel up, lower it down. Switch sides, alternating left and right. One more each side. Option to stay right here or sit down one more inch, everybody. Maybe lift both heels up. Hold here for 4, 3, 2, last one. Everybody set those heels down, straighten those legs. Arms come down by your side. Nice job. Let's grab our mats now, as well as a rolled up bath towel or a Pilates small ball here. All right, so I'm gonna grab my ball or towel, place it between my thighs, rolling myself down, walking those arms out, coming into a plank position here. So you want the shoulders, wrists, elbows in one line. Seat is down. Pull that navel in nice and tight. Your first option is to stay right here. Well, actually, first option is right here, knees down. Back those knees up a few inches. You want to feel those abs engage. Crown of the head is reaching long. You want to try to keep the neck in line with the rest of the spine. First option is to hold right here. Second option, straighten those legs. Squeezing in on that ball. So walk those knees or those feet as close as you can. You want to feel engagement through the inner thighs, maybe pulling in that lower belly a little bit as well. Stay right here, or you can come down to your forearms now. Fingertips facing forward. Now push yourself back up to straight arm. Again, down to your forearms, back up to straight arm. Alternating that leading arm. Don't forget to breathe. One more each side. Then we're gonna stay down on those forearms. So the next time you come down, hold here. Pull that navel in a little bit tighter. If you're on your knees, just hold your plank. If you're on your toes, press forward through those toes. Take those shoulders slightly in front of the elbows. Press back through the heels. So a little forward and back. Last 5 seconds. Last one. Everybody set those knees down. Quick child's pose here. So taking that seat towards the feet, fingertips reaching long. Option here to keep that ball between the thighs. If you have the towel, it may be a little more difficult here. So you choose, you can remove the object from between the thighs. We're gonna lay all the way down now onto our bellies. Working now on that lower back. So you wanna tuck your pelvis. Get that pubic bone to touch the mat. So a little squeeze in the glutes, but it's mostly about pulling that belly up and in. Maintain that contact with the mat. Reaching your arms out long in front of you. Neck is long, crown of the head is reaching forward. Toes are pointed here. Keeping your feet where they are, tops of the feet pressing into the mat. Lift that upper body up off the mat. So both hands come off of the mat. Gaze is down towards the floor, then lower back down. Lift again, using your breath, and lower. And again, and lower. 2 more. The next time you lift up, hold there. Hold that upper body lifted. Now you're gonna pull your elbows down. Goalpost arms, so squeeze between the shoulder blades. Then extend your arms long out in front of you, like we started. Again, goalpost, extend the arms long. Maintaining that pelvic tuck. Navel is still pulling in towards the spine. The next time you come into goalpost arms, hold there. Lower the upper body down, palms come down to the mat, forehead rests down on the mat. Maintaining that pelvic tuck. Upper body is staying down. Now we're gonna lift those legs up off the mat and lower down. So if you have that ball between the thighs, just think about squeezing up and in. The ball doesn't have to lift off the mat. Lift and lower at your own pace. The next time you lift those legs, hold them there. Now begin to squeeze the heels towards one another. So squeeze in, release. Squeeze in, release. The next time you squeeze that ball or that towel, hold there. Maintaining that lift in the legs, now lift the upper body up. Goalpost arms, hold there. Lift the arms and legs up 1 inch higher and hold. Now little pulses up, arms and legs. Gaze is down towards the ground, neck is long. Last 4, 3, 2, Last one, lower everything down. Beautiful. All right, let's come up onto all fours. Setting that ball off for the side for just a second. A few cat cows here, so arching and rounding that spine at your own pace. Releasing that lower back. Coming back to neutral spine. Let's have a seat on our mat. Taking that ball or towel with you. We're going to lay all the way down onto our back. Come all the way down onto your backs here. Taking that ball or towel, place it between the thighs. Now you're going to take your legs overhead. You want to find that pelvic tuck again. So you want to press that lower back into the mat. First option, lift those hips up. Place your palms underneath those hips. That will give you extra support and that will help maintain that pelvic tuck. Now everybody lower those legs. Just a few inches, just so you feel the belly engage without letting that lower back lift off the mat. Then take the legs back overhead. A little lower and lift. If you don't need that extra support, you can take your hands down by your side. So only lower those legs until you feel those abs engage, but don't let that lower back come off the mat. The next time you lower those legs, I want you to hold there. Now you're going to cross the right leg over the left, whichever, it doesn't matter actually which leg. Just choose one leg, crossing it over, so you're squeezing in on that ball. If you feel comfortable with it, take those hands behind the head. Now you're going to lift your upper body straight up and lower back down. So a little lift and lower, trying to get those shoulder blades to clear the mat. Using your breath here, inhale and exhale. The next time you lift those shoulder blades up off the mat, hold there. Now you're going to lower those legs just a little bit to that point of control, just a little lower. Hold right here. Now you're going to take your opposite elbow towards that top knee. Rotate through the waist, lower back down. Put the shoulder blades down on the mat. Lift again, both shoulder blades up. Rotate towards that knee, lower back down. At your own pace, lift and lower. Try to get those shoulder blades maybe half an inch higher each time you come up using your breath. Last one, hold that rotation. Now little pulses straight up right here. We're in that rotation, feel that side waist. Last 4, 3, 2, hold here. Keep those shoulder blades lifted and still. Now squeeze the top leg towards the bottom leg. Pressing down, so resisting with that bottom leg as you press down with the top leg. Last 5 seconds. Last one. Lower down, nice. Pull those knees into your chest. Gently rocking side to side. We're going to switch to the other side now. So same setup as before. Hands can start underneath that seat. Find that pelvic tuck. Scoop that belly in. Take those legs overhead. Squeeze in on that ball. Pointed toes. Lower those legs to your point of control. Then lift them back up. Slowing down the movement if you need to. Now take those legs back overhead. Now cross the opposite leg. I'm going to go with my left leg on top now. I want you to take those hands behind the head. Now lift those shoulder blades up off the mat. Lower back down. So cradle the head with your hands. Keeping that squeeze on the ball or the towel. Last one, hold those shoulder blades lifted. Hold right here, lower those legs an inch. Now you're gonna take that opposite elbow towards the knee. Come back to center, lower all the way down. So lift, rotate, center, and down. Last one, we're gonna hold that rotation. So stay lifted. Now little pulses up. Last 4, 3, 2, hold lifted, lower those legs just 1 inch. Hold right here. Now begin to press the top leg towards the bottom leg. So little squeezes down. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, Last one. Both legs come overhead, pull those knees to your chest. Let's make our way now onto our side, setting up for a forearm side plank. So we want that shoulder, elbow, all in one line. Stacking those hips and shoulders. Top arm can be out in front of you for support, or top arm can reach overhead. We're going to lift ourselves up now, either with the support or arms reaching. Make sure that top shoulder is stacked over the bottom shoulder. First option, then lower the hips down. So pressing up through that bottom side waist as you lift and lower. This is your first option. Everybody, extend that top leg long. Continue to lift and lower those hips. If you want additional challenge, straighten that bottom leg as well. Lift and lower. The next time you lift those hips, hold right there. Now squeeze the top leg towards the bottom leg. Keep that bottom side waist lifted. Now hold that squeeze on the ball. Lift those hips up 1 inch higher. Little pulses up right here. You can always drop down that bottom knee. Take that top arm down in front of you for support. 5 seconds here. Last one. Lower those hips down. Beautiful. Let's transition now to the other side. Same setup as before. Get that shoulder, that elbow in one line. Stack those hips, stack the shoulders. Top arm can be here in front for support or reaching overhead. Start by lifting those hips up, pressing up to that bottom side waist, then lower back down. Again, making sure that top shoulder is staying in line with the bottom shoulder. We're not leaning forward here to lift. Continue this movement. Everybody straighten that top leg. Continue to lift and lower those hips. If you want additional challenge here, straighten that bottom leg as well. Lift and lower. The next time you lift those hips, hold there. Now begin to press the top leg towards the bottom leg. Hold that squeeze on the ball or the towel right here. Lift those hips up another inch. Little pulses up. Last 8 seconds. Last one. Lower those hips all the way down. Nice job. Setting that ball or towel off to the side. Coming into a child's pose now. So take those toes, big toes touch. Knees are wide on that mat. Pressing that seat back. Coming onto all fours. Knees are facing forward. Curl those toes under. Press yourself up into downward dog. Staying there for a minute. Then walking your hands towards your toes, slowly rolling yourself up to standing. Little bend in those knees. All right. Now we're going to grab our weights. Setting that mat off to the side. Setting the ball off to the side as well. Standing up nice and tall, we're going to take those weights, one in either hand. Palms are going to face forward. Actually, we'll start with our hands on our hips. Turning our feet out slightly, so the heels are in, toes are out. We're going to step one leg back behind us, finding that curtsy lunge like we did in the beginning. Now push that hip forward, squaring off those hips. Start by bending and straightening those knees. Just get the feel for that. Again, making sure that those knees are moving over those middle toes. Shoulders are over hips, so we're not leaning forward into that front knee. Continue with this curtsy lunge. Option here, palms facing down towards me, adding some bicep curls. So elbows are in close. You can always make these smaller weights work for you. Think about squeezing that pinky a little bit to engage the front of the arm. So try to do full range here, all the way up, all the way down. Slowing down the movement if you need to, just working the legs, or just standing up tall, working the arms. Lots of options. Listen to your body. The next time you find that curtsy lunge, let's stay there. Bending those arms, elbows are in close to the waist, bicep reach, so reach those arms out in front of you. Pull the elbows in. Again, maintaining that weight, shoulders still over hips. Last one, pull those elbows in nice and close. Keeping your arms halfway up, begin to pulse those arms up. So mid-range bicep pulse here. Adding on, if you like, little pulse down with the hips. So as the arms come up, legs go down. Last 10 seconds. Last 2. Last 1. Straighten those legs. Step that leg in. Give those legs a quick shake. We're going to switch to the other side, starting with our hands on our hips. Feet are in that narrow V. Palms are facing. Stepping the opposite leg back behind you. Square off those hips. Hands on hips to start. Find that curtsy lunge. Little bend and straighten. Take a look at those knees. Make sure they're tracking over those middle toes. Standing up nice and tall, shoulders still over hips. All right, when you have this one down, if you want to add on, palms face the body. We're going to add in some hammer curls. So elbows are still in close, still working those biceps. Just palms facing one another. Full range, all the way up, all the way down. The next time you find your curtsy lunge, hold there. Arms are halfway down. Now reach those arms out long in front of you. Pull the elbows in. Last one, pull those elbows in nice and close. Arms are halfway up, little pulses up. Squeeze that pinky, get the front of the arm to work for you. Adding on, little pulse down with those knees as the arms come up. Five seconds here. Last one. Straighten those legs, step that foot in. Give those legs a quick shake. Set those weights down for a minute. Reach those arms out long, thumbs are up. Press the tops of the hands toward the back of the room. Let's switch the direction of those palms. Press away, thumbs down. All right, release, beautiful. Let's grab our weights again. We're gonna step now into that nice wide V position. So heels are in, toes are out. Roll those shoulders back and down. Starting with those hands on the hips, adding some weights eventually if you like. We're gonna bend those knees. Take a look at the knees. Make sure they're pressing over the second and third toe. Straighten those legs, pressing through those heels. A little bend and straighten. Again, make sure you're not hinging forward. We're standing up nice and tall. Adding on if you like. Take those arms to goalpost. Continue to bend and straighten those legs. Take those arms out in front of you. Palms are facing. So elbows are about shoulder height, maybe a little bit lower. The next time you bend those knees, I want you to stay there. So keep those knees bent and still. Now you're going to lift the left arm up a little higher than the right. Lower it down. Right arm up, lower. Alternating left and right. Adding on if you like. The next time that left arm reaches up, lift that left heel. Then lower both down. Right arm, left arm. One more each side. Stay right here. Sit a little lower. Hold right here. Take those arms out to the side. Adding in a chest press or a pec deck, I guess, I'm sorry. Open and close those arms. Squeeze through the front of the body, through the chest here. Those pecs. Those legs need a break. You can straighten them. Listen to your body. Adding on if you like. As those arms come up to the side, lift those heels. Lower the heels as the arms come front. You can always leave those heels down. Last one. Arms come in front, lower those heels down. Sit 1 inch lower. Now begin to pulse both arms up, just an inch. Add a little pulse down with those hips. So arms come up, legs go down. We have 8 seconds here. Last one. Nice. Straighten those legs. Beautiful. Let's heel toe those feet in, set those weights down. Interlacing those fingers behind your back. Roll those shoulders back and down. Maybe hinging forward slightly, a little bit in the knees. Maybe lifting those hands up off the lower back. Rolling yourself up to standing. Reaching those fingertips long in front of you. Rounding through your upper back. Pushing the tops of the hands away from you. Feel the space between the shoulder blades. Rolling yourself up to standing. Taking one arm across the body, dropping it down. Shoulder stretch. Switching sides. And release. Let's pick up those weights. A little bit more work here for the upper body before we head back down to the mat. So we're going to step one leg forward, one leg is back. I'm going to turn to face you just for a second. We want the hips and shoulders square. We're going to bend into our front knee. Back leg is straight behind us. Ball of the foot is pressing down like a kickstand. Then we're going to hinge forward from our waist. Nice flat back. Pull the navel in. Try to keep the arch out of the lower back. You want to make sure the knee is behind those toes. Taking the arms to either side of you, palms are facing one another. You're going to pull those elbows in towards the rib cage. Starting with a tricep kickback. So you're going to bend and straighten those elbows. Letting your gaze fall a few feet in front of you. Neck is long. Make sure you can still see those front toes. Really extend those arms long. Try to get those weights above the hips. Keeping those hips and shoulders square. Belly is pulling in. Just because we're hinging forward doesn't mean it gets to relax here, right? Really digging in with that front heel. Left toes are pretty light on the ground, just helping with balance. The next time you extend those arms long behind you, I want you to hold them there. Now try to lift and lower that front heel. Now either lower that heel or keep it lifted. Pulse the straight arms up. Keeping those weights above the hips for 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower that heel, straighten that leg, step that leg in. We're going to switch sides now. Same thing, other side. One leg comes forward, one leg goes back. Hinging forward, square off the hips and shoulders. This time the palms are going to face the back of the room. We're going to start by bending the elbows. So the palms, the top of the hands are going to face forward. Then straighten the arms. Palms are pressing back. The next time you straighten those arms, hold there. Keep those hands above the hips. Now maybe lift and lower that front heel. Challenge that balance. Find something a few feet in front of you on the floor. Last one, either keep that heel lifted or lower it down. Pulses up with those arms. Straight up, palms toward the ceiling. Last 4. Last one, lower that heel, lower those arms. Step that leg in. Beautiful. Let's set those weights off to the side. Quick stretch for those triceps. Reaching one arm long overhead, grabbing onto that elbow. Switching sides, opposite elbow. All right, let's go ahead and grab our chair now. So set the weights off to the side, but grab that ball or towel. So we're going to turn to face our chair, walking ourselves out. So you can either start with straight arms, coming into a flat back, so fingertips are light on that chair, or you can come down onto your forearms. That's going to give you a little more support. So start there, and you can always walk yourself out later. Now we're going to bend one of our knees. Make sure we're far enough from the chair. Then we're going to take that ball or that towel behind the knee. Now you want to square off your hips, so the hip should not be open here. The knee is facing the floor, pulling your navel in, trying to take that arch out of the lower back. You want a little bend in that supporting knee. Do not lock out the knee. Now you're going to begin to lift and lower that knee. So it's going to come down to meet the opposite knee, lift it right back up. Navel pulling in nice and tight, flexing the foot, holding that ball or towel in place. Taking your gaze down towards the floor. Using your breath. Grounding down between all four corners of that supporting foot. It's working for you for sure. Now the next time you lift that leg up, you need to hold it there. Now pull your heel towards your seat, squeeze in on that ball or towel, then release. Squeeze in, release. Adding on, squeeze in on that ball, lift up an inch. So squeeze in, lift up. Squeeze in and lift. Again, making sure those hips are both facing the floor still. Belly is pulling in. Little bend in that supporting knee. Last one, hold that squeeze on the ball. Now begin to pulse straight up. Last 4, 3, 2, last one. Hold right here. Now, if you're don't already have your forearm on the bar, take one forearm, opposite forearm to the chair, fingertips face knee. Top arm can come out kind of long. Now we're going to take our leg out to the side, kind of like a dog at a fire hydrant here. You want your knee and your hip in one line. Then you're going to lower that leg down for 2, lift it up for 2, leading with that outer seat. Again, keeping that bend in the supporting knee. And if that supporting leg is screaming, that's okay. That's our sneak attack right there. You think you're working the leg with the ball, but the other one is working much harder for you. Think about here, trying to move more of your weight towards the big toe, less into that baby toe of that supporting leg, to take some of that fatigue out of that outer hip. The next time you lift that leg up, hold it there. Now we're going to pull the knee, so it's a bit in line with the hip. Now we're going to pull it towards the armpit, and then take it back so it's in line with the hip. So pull in, take it back. Maybe getting a little bit into the oblique as well. Now take that knee back in line with the hip. Hold it right here. Now a little squeeze in on that ball. Release. Squeeze in, release. The next time you squeeze in on that ball, pull that heel a little bit closer to your seat. Now pulse that leg up. Getting ready to stretch, I promise. Last 8 seconds here. Last one. Lower that leg all the way down. Set that ball off to the side. Supporting leg. Let's cross that ankle over. The opposite knee. You can take both hands to the chair. Have a seat. Press your hips back. Let that knee gently open. Keep a little flex in the foot. And release. Let's do that on the other side. Same thing. Cross the ankle over. Have a seat. Let that knee gently open. No forcing it. Come up to standing. Let's switch to the other side now. So grabbing that ball, placing it behind the knee. You want to square off your hips and shoulders. Arms can be long, or you can take both forearms to the chair. So you want to start by pressing that heel in towards your seat. Really feel that engagement through that hamstring. Navel is in nice and tight, and start lifting and lowering that leg. Again, little bend in the supporting knee. Think about lifting kind of like that crease between the glute and the hamstring. Now hold that leg lifted. Pull that heel towards the seat, release. Pull in, release. The knee is still facing the floor. Now hold that squeeze on the ball, combining these two movements. So one lift up, one squeeze, lift up and squeeze. Last one, hold that squeeze on the ball, keep that leg lifted, little pulses up right here. How's that hamstring? Ryan's talking to me. Last 5 seconds. Last one, hold that leg lifted. Now we're gonna take one forearm down to the chair if it's not already there. Opposite arm extends long. Take that leg out to the side. Leg is parallel to the floor. Knee is in line with the hip here. Then we're gonna come down for 2, lift right back up for 2. Lifting with that outer seat. The next time you lift that leg up, hold it there. Now you're gonna pull your knee towards the armpit. Take it back so the knee's in line with the hip. So come forward, push back. Again, think about pressing into that big toe of that supporting foot rather than the baby toe. Take some of that weight out of the outer hip. Last one, take that knee in line with the hip. Hold it there. Begin to squeeze in on the ball, release. Squeeze in, release. Home stretch, almost done on this leg here. How's that belly? Is it still pulling in? Last one, hold that squeeze on the ball. Pull that heel 1 inch closer to the seat. Pulses up with that leg. Keeping that torso nice and still. Last 5 seconds here. Last one, lower that leg all the way down. Move that ball or towel if you used it. Set that off to the side. Figure 4 stretch, crossing one ankle over the knee. Sit back. Let that knee gently open up. Keep a little flex in the toes. Come up to standing, switching sides. Sitting back. Uncrossing that leg. Still facing our chair. Setting the ball or towel off to the side. We are now going to set up for lunge. So we're going to turn to face our chair, stepping one leg forward, one leg back. So you want a pretty good distance between those legs. Then you're going to bend both knees. Make sure that the front knee is behind the toes. So you want the knee in line with the ankle. So you're working on a 90-degree bend in both legs, but don't worry about it if you're not there. And straighten the legs. Bend again. And straighten. Think about shooting down rather than shooting forward, protecting that front knee. Straight up, straight down. Let's speed it up a little bit quicker. Up and down, up, down. Really digging in with that front heel. The next time you come down, stay right there. Hold right here. Now try to lift and lower that front heel. The next time you lift that heel, option to keep it there or set it back down. Pulse those hips and lunge. Last one, hold that lunge. Set that front heel down. Keeping that front knee bent. Don't move it. We're going to keep the knee bent. We're going to step the back toes in. Take them right back out. So step them in and out without moving that front knee. Really digging in with that heel, getting into that glute there. Last 5 seconds. Stay nice and low. Last one. Step that leg in. Beautiful. Let's take that front leg that we were working. Flex the toes, hinging forward from our waist, reaching for those toes. Feel the length in that leg. All right, setting those toes down, rolling yourself up to standing. Lunge, other side. Opposite leg steps forward. Another leg steps back, squaring off those hips towards your chair. Begin to bend and straighten those knees in your lunge. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see me, but you can keep both hands on the chair. Again, take a look at that front knee. Make sure it's staying behind the toes. Starting out nice and slow. Come down for 2, up for 2. Let's speed it up a little bit. Up and down, up, down. The next time you come down, we're going to stay there. Hold that lunge. Now lift and lower that front heel. Option to keep that heel lifted or lower it back down. Pulses in your lunge. Last one. Hold right here. Set that front heel down. Keep that bend in your front knee. Now we're going to tap those back toes in. Step them back out. In and out. Don't let that front leg straighten. Last 4. Last one. Tap those toes in, come up to standing. Beautiful. Hamstring stretch now for that front leg. Flex the toes. Hinge forward at your waist. Reach for those toes. Great job on the standing work. Let's move our chair off to the side, grabbing our mats now, taking our ball with us, or our rolled up towel. We're going to lie on our side now. We're going to take our ball or our towel, and we're going to place it underneath our hip. Coming down onto our bottom forearm. So it's here for support, or you can come all the way down. Straight arm, palm is pressing down. Top arm in front of you. But try to keep those hips stacked. So we don't want that top hip coming forward. So it's really tucked into underneath that waist. Pressing down with both hands. Start by lifting that upper body up off that ball or towel. Lower back down. So a little lift and lower. This is your first option. Starting right here, you can stay right here. Adding on, take that top arm behind you, behind the head. Lift and lower. Third option, straighten those legs so the heels are in line with the hips. Going back to our starting point if you need to. Now everybody lift to their highest point. Hold right there. Pulse is up at the top. Last 7 seconds. Last one. Lower all the way down. Lay down over that ball for a second. Take that top arm. Connect the palms. Just relax. Pushing yourself up to a seat. Let's switch to the other side. Take that ball or towel with you. Again, placing it underneath the side waist. Knees are bent to start. Top arm reaches long, palm is facing down. I'm sorry, bottom arm long. Top arm comes overhead. Stack those hips. Starting here, lift and lower up off that ball. Using that side waist. Now, if none of this works for you, you can just do a regular crunch. Remove the ball, keeping those knees bent. Working on that side waist still. Staying right here, take that top arm overhead. Third option, straighten those legs. Now everybody stay at your highest point. Little pulses at the top. 8 seconds here. Last one. Lower all the way down. Connect those palms overhead. All right. Roll off of the ball. We're going to have a seat on our mat. Option to have weights nearby. Taking our ball or towel with us. First option, we're going to place that ball. We're going to squeeze, kind of tuck it in behind that lower back. Feet are flat to start. Taking your hands behind your thighs. Now we're going to lift our toes up off the ground. If you need more support, keep the toes down. The heels are digging in. Hands behind those thighs for support. We're going to practice a C curve here. So we're going to round through your lower spine. Think about taking your hip bones, pressing them towards your rib cage, scooping out your belly, and then lift yourself back up, arms are wide. So inhale and exhale as you lift and lower. This is your first option, keeping those hands behind the thighs for support. Second option, if you want, grab those weights, goalpost arms, palms are facing you in front. You can always go back to taking those hands behind the thighs. Just adding a little more resistance here with those weights. Listen to your body. Really scoop that belly. So rounding through that lower spine. Now everybody hold your C curve wherever you are. Now we're going to come down 1 more inch. Hold there, scoop that belly in just a little more. Now do a little pelvic tuck. So we're trying to get those hip bones, the top of the hip bones, a little bit closer to that rib cage. Last 10 seconds here. So rather than squeezing the glutes, pull that navel up and in. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Set those weights off to the side. Push yourself up off that ball. Take the ball with you. Feet are flat now, knees are bent, laying all the way down on your mat. Option to have the ball in your hands overhead. If you have a towel, this may not work. So just take your hands overhead, palms are touching. Now we're going to lift our shoulder blades up off the mat. So hands can be just together here. If you have the ball in your hand, you're going to take it into one of your hands. Other hand stays long behind you. Reach towards the opposite ankle. Shoulder blades stay lifted. Come back to center. Take the ball in the other hand. Switch sides. So you're going to want to get into that side waist here. Keeping the shoulder blades up off the mat the entire time. Same thing with the fingertips. Just reach and reach. Next time you come through center, try to lift those shoulder blades 1 inch higher. And continue. Same thing. Don't forget to breathe. If you need that extra support, head can go on the hands, just reaching the elbow towards the ankle. Last 3. Last 1. Lower everything down. Beautiful. Now taking that ball or towel, we're going to place it between our thighs. Walking our feet close to our seat. Palms are pressing down into the mat. Tuck that pelvis. Scoop that belly up and in. Now we're going to press into both heels. Push yourself up into a bridge. Then lower back down. So a little lift and lower. First option is to stay right here. Continue to lift and lower those hips. Second option, keep those hips lifted. Hold right here. Now we're going to squeeze the left cheek and the right cheek. So left and right, staying in that bridge. Go back to our first move if that works best for you. One more each side. Hold right here, hold center. Continue lowering and lifting in that bridge, or if you keep those hips lifted, you're going to walk your feet a little bit closer to your seat. Holding right here. You're going to lift one leg overhead, but keep those hips square. Digging in through that opposite heel. Now you're going to press in on that ball or towel, release. Press in, release. You're resisting with the other leg. Getting into those inner thighs. Last 3. Last 1, step that leg down, staying in that bridge. We're choosing this option, digging in with the opposite heel, opposite leg long overhead, point those toes, press in, release, press in, release. Keeping those hips even, belly pulling in. Last 3, last 1, set those toes down. Last little bit of work. Everybody try to push up into bridge if you're not there, and hold. Hold here. See if you can take one leg out, press the heel down. Take the other heel out, press it down. Walk the other foot back in, foot is flat. Opposite foot in, flat. So heel, heel, toes, toes. I guess foot is flat. Heel, heel, foot flat. Without letting those hips come out of alignment. Last 1. The next time those heels come out, stay right there. Hold right here. See if you can lift 1 inch higher in that bridge. Little pulses up with those hips. This is the last 10 seconds, getting ready to stretch. Last 4, 3, 2, last 1. Everybody lower all the way down. Move that ball from between the thighs. Pull those knees in towards your chest. Grabbing onto those shins if that feels okay to you. Gently rocking side to side. Massage out that lower back. Great job, everybody. Taking those knees back to center, placing your hands on your kneecaps. Make them circles. Take both knees in one direction. So making a clockwise motion here. Now let's reverse that direction. Going the other way. Coming back to center, hold right here. Setting those feet down on the mat. Extending one leg long. Pulling the opposite knee in towards your chest. Grabbing onto that shin or behind that thigh, wherever feels comfortable for you. Pulling that leg towards the knee towards the chest here. While the opposite leg is pressing long, you want to flex the foot so that leg that's on the mat is still active here. You may feel a little more stretch in the hip flexor as well. Now extend that leg long overhead. Flex the toes, grabbing above or below the knee, wherever is comfortable for you, just not on the knee directly. Pull those toes towards your shoulder. Letting go of that leg, bending the knee, extending that leg long now. Flexing the toes of that leg as you set it down. Opposite knee comes in towards the chest. Extend that leg long overhead, flex the toes, grabbing above or below the knee. Pull the toes towards your shoulder. Letting go of those toes, bending that knee, extending it long. rolling onto your side, coming up to a seat. Let's take our legs out nice and wide. Sitting up nice and tall. Reaching one arm long towards the ceiling. So really reaching through that spine. Fingertips touching the ceiling. Now let your fingertips reach towards the opposite toes. Try to keep your shoulders in one line so that top shoulder is not coming forward. Feel the length in your side waist. Try to press the opposite hip down towards the mat. Now turning to face that leg, hands on either side of the knee, letting your body round down over the front of the leg. Rounding yourself back up, switching sides, opposite arm reaches long. And then towards the opposite toes, stacking those shoulders, pressing that opposite hip down. Turning to face your leg, letting your body drape over. Walking those hands back up to center, keep those feet flexed. Walking your hands out in front of you. Stretch here for those inner thighs. As you inhale, as you exhale, walk those hands a little farther forward. Walking those hands back up to center, taking the legs back behind you, coming onto all fours, curling those toes under, pressing yourself up into a downward dog, staying there for a minute, pedaling out those feet. So one heel presses down, opposite knee bends, and switch. We'll lengthen the back of the legs here, the calves. Pressing both heels down, walking your fingertips towards your toes, staying there for a minute, letting your head hang and your neck release. So no tension in your upper body here. Maybe clasping opposite elbows. Gently swaying side to side if that feels okay. Head is heavy. Coming back to center, either placing your hands on the mat or on those thighs. Little bend in the knees as you slowly roll up to standing. Roll those shoulders back and down. Nice big inhale. And exhale. One more. As you inhale, take your hands through heart center. Have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys, so much.